Hello, you've joined me on a lovely crisp winter's afternoon. It's early January. I thought I'd just give you guys a tour of crops and what we've got in the ground and what the plans are for the year. So we're in a field called Grassy Downs at the moment, and this is due to go into peas in the spring. So we'll probably be drilling them sort of the 15th of March-ish. But at the moment it's in an overwinter cover crop. So this was wheat, and if you remember how punishingly dry the summer was, we harvested the wheat sort of 20th of July, and then we got the cover crop in just a couple of days later, and then it sort of sat there. The seed did absolutely nothing for the best part of a month, but then because it's been quite a mild and open autumn, it's just kept on moving. So we've got sort of a mostly knee high, so the linseed, the Phacelia are kind of knee high. Then we've got oats and rye, forage rye in the bottom. They're just sort of ankle height, and then we've got the odd radish here is waist high, and it's doing really well. We've got some flowers in the middle of January, and if you can quite see the twinkling there, got some nice cobwebs. The Phacelia's flowering, and on the whole it's just absolutely crawling with life. So if we have a little dig around, soil nice and soft, you can hear that tearing sound as it's all bound together by roots. That Phacelia didn't like the frost. That's pretty molten, kind of gross actually, but it'll do something. There's a little worm there. And the soil is just in fantastic condition. It's just so crumbly and so easy to dig. It's absolutely bound up with roots, which is exactly what you want to see. You should, in the bottom as well, see some clover, if I can find one. You put in about 1 kilo a hectare of Aberlasting clover. I can't find any here, but the idea is to create a living mulch. So the clover is reasonably glyphosate tolerant, so it should establish itself with the peas when we drill them and not be killed off when we kill off the cover crop. And then it will create a sort of permanent understory, which is one of our SFI actions. So we get a nice little bit of money for that from the government. So this crop is going to be grazed off in the next few weeks, and then it will have a month or two's worth of regrowth, which will sort of encourage even more rooting, try and get a bit more nutrition to the surface, and also the sheep muck will give a little bit of nitrogen to the growing pea crop, because I know peas are a legume and they on paper don't need any nitrogen, but certainly in the early stages of life, if they have a little bit kicking around in the soil, then it really does get them off to a flying start, get the canopy closed, and that really helps with weed suppression and also just yield in general. So we've got a radish here. Okay, it's snapped off, but he's clearly quite deep. Let's see if we can find another one. This one might be a little bit better. Yeah. We don't really have massive compaction issues, so the radish is really more for nutrient cycling than and end scavenging than it is for compaction busting, but still, it's a decent root system. So if we look down, you can see as well that at no point can you see bare earth. So we've had some pretty savage rain in the last couple of months, and there's absolutely no capping or anything, because as the raindrop falls down, it will always have the kinetic energy absorbed by the leaves, and then it will just gently trickle down into the soil. So there's no capping, no surface compaction from rain, no runoff, no splashing. Perfect. What we'll do now is we'll head over to, I don't know if you can see over there, the sheep. So we'll have a look at our grass and clover in front of maize. So we're in the ryegrass and clover mix now. This is another cover crop, and the sheep are quite enjoying life in the sunshine today. This is a mixture of 4 different Italian ryegrasses, so 2 diploids, 2 tetraploids, and then you can see we've drilled it every other row. So this row and this row are 75% grass and 25% clover, and then this row and this row are 25% grass and 75% clover. We also have some chicory in there, so that's what these broadleaves are. And then clover wise, here we go, so that is a berseem. You can see it's quite tall. And then these furry leaves, we have crimson and balança clover. So I can't really tell at this point which is which, but the balança clover creates a huge amount of biomass early on in the season, and then the crimson clover has beautiful red flowers, and it's also quite an early one. So the idea here is to get a pretty decent silage cut off of this, just 1 cut of silage, and then we'll spray it off and direct drill some maize. We also have, so this is the micro clover, so this is everlasting, and that's there to try and create a permanent clover understory. So yeah, there's it's only a tiny little plant, and the leaves on it are really quite small, but he's very low growing, and he propagates himself through the stolons, so sort of through surface, through stems along the surface, and also through rhizomes. So he's very persistent, very drought tolerant, and also it means you can burn the top off with glyphosate and he'll still come back. So it's an excellent arable understory. Sorry sheeps. If we move through now into cover crop that was grazed maybe 2 weeks ago, we'll see just how quickly it's coming back. Okay, so as you can see, it's all come back nice and fresh. There's a lot of tillering going on. So these are growing out, these ryegrasses are growing nice and wide and low. And the clovers are all still there. They could probably do with a little bit of warmth just to get them moving now. And the chicory as well, he's leafing back out. So if we dig that one up, the reason I put chicory in is not really for the top growth. I just wanted to see how much root mass I get in the first year, because people often treat chicory as a perennial, but if you can get, look at that, if you get rooting like that, and that's clearly going on a long way down, because those are thick roots that have snapped off there. Now I only put in 1 kilo a hectare, but got plant there, there, so not very much seed goes a really long way, makes it very cost effective, and I think an excellent deep rooting cover crop species. So I'm definitely going to use him again. That's fantastic. And it's also just good for the general health of the sheep that graze it, and I don't know what it will do in silage. It'll add some biomass at least, it might even come to flower. We'll find out. So there we go. Okay, so we are in the oilseed rape now. This is a variety called Carrot, and we're now much lower down from where we were. So we've got the Quantox up there, and then that's very thin, brashy soil, and then as you get down towards the levels of Somerset over there, we end up in this much sandier soil, which can be prone to getting a little bit tight, but we seem to manage it okay. So this crop was planted at 30 seeds per square metre with our precision drill, and as you can see, the plant spacing is just impeccable. You couldn't ask for a better density than that. That is really good. In fact, we could probably have, this was 30 seeds per square metre, we probably could have gone a little bit lower, but we normally expect some losses from slugs. But this year, because it's been so dry, the slug population has just been absolutely decimated, and there have been no issues. We applied one lot of slug pellets, and in hindsight we probably didn't need to do it, which is the first time ever for oilseed rape, because slugs absolutely love it. You can see as well, there's some cobwebs there. Don't know if it shows up on camera. But yeah, no, I'm very happy with this oilseed rape crop. Let's try and pull up a root, see if we can find a taproot. Ooh, that snapped off. That did go an awful lot deeper. And I don't think you could ask for a better oilseed rape plant. There's absolutely zero disease. Nice little compact growing point. It's not thinking about getting too high up, too leggy yet, so it's still safe from frosts. And this was planted on the 2nd of September with our precision drill. Normally, standard practice would be to cut the wheat and then subsoil it at a convenient time, and then we would subsoil it in these 60 centimetre spacings, and then follow with RTK with the drill, so that the crop is planted on the loosened slots. But this year it was just so dry, the subsoiler just didn't work. It was pulling up horrible lumps, so we just left it. We didn't subsoil more than 20 metres before we gave up. So yeah, this was just completely direct drilled straight into the stubble, and it hasn't looked back. We also haven't had any flea beetle issues. I think one of the main reasons is the stubble height. So on fields destined for oilseed rape, we leave the stubble a good sort of 8 inches high at least, and that provides an excellent camouflage, so that the flea beetles, when they're flying through the air looking for somewhere to land, they don't see those juicy little oilseed rape plants underneath, and they fly over to our neighbours. Yeah, it seems to work for us, and we haven't had to use any insecticides on any of the farm since 2018. Oilseed rape is also our fungicide break, so we refuse to use any fungicides at all on OSR. So nothing for FOMA, nothing for light leaf spot, and not even anything for Sclerotinia, because I just don't think it's an insurance policy that's worth paying. The variety that I've chosen, Carrot, is really highly rated for FOMA and light leaf spot. It's an 8 for one and 9 for the other. So I'm not intending to spray for anything. This will just get a bit of polysulfate, a bit of nitrogen, and maybe some trace elements. So that's it for the oilseed rape, really. I'm really happy with it, which is more than can be said for most years, but this autumn just seems to have really suited the oilseed rape. Okay, welcome to our wheat. This crop, as you can see, is following maize. So there's the stubble there of the maize. That came off about the 20th of September, and then we drilled this wheat on the 2nd week of October, so I think we started on the 8th. And it's got away really well. You can see it's pretty much at the perfect level of development. It's not too big, but it's certainly not on the back foot either. It's just really well tillered, well established crop. And again, this took very little slug control to get here. I think that's soil. Yeah, normally we're battling slugs. Even in wheat, we find slugs to be quite a challenge. But this year it's just been epic, really. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tillers on that one. And another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 there. Oh no, sorry, it's the same plant. So that's a really well branched out plant there. This is a variety blend. This is a 4-way mix, equal parts Redwold, Olympus, Mayflower and Beowulf, all home saved. And I quite like variety blends. I find that you get a good mixture of traits and a good risk management strategy, I find it to be, because if one variety doesn't do too well, that's okay. You've got 3 others that should hopefully balance that out, and it keeps life interesting for me. You can see the soil's in pretty good shape. It smells really good. And this is the clover. So as you saw earlier in the grass crop, we established some everlasting clover that grew through the maize crop, continued growing throughout the summer, and we end up with these plants here. So as you can see, they don't look the happiest, and that's because the pre-emergent herbicide that we put on the wheat has put it on the back foot, but there's plenty of life still in that stem, and I'm trying to find some of the roots, but I'm struggling here. But no, that should, once it warms up, should leaf out, and hopefully if I'm not too nasty to it, it will return as our living mulch. So there we go, that's the wheat. And we're on a really picturesque part of the Quantocks up here. You can see all the way out to Taunton and over to the Black Downs over there. It's a really nice spot to be farming. I couldn't think of anywhere else that I'd want to be a farmer. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Take care.